Royale, and on behalf of Let's Talk Money with Friends, I would like to welcome you. Every Wednesdays, actually, on Wednesdays, we usually come on live to share so many great concepts about money, finance, life, because we know money encompasses everything, and we always like to have those conversations with our friends. But today is Monday, right? It's Monday, and we wanted to share some great information with you tonight. And so, with that being said, we have a guest tonight, and this is a friend that I've known for many years. And when I asked him, I asked him to be on the show, and he was like, because of my work schedule, I couldn't do Wednesday. He cannot do Wednesday. But I said, you know what? I wanted to have this conversation with you, and it's so important to me because I think it's relevant and timely. And definitely, we can try another night. So tonight we are on, and you have the pleasure of having two shows in 1 week. So without further ado, I would like to welcome our friend here, and that's Sanders Boston. Sanders, so glad to have you on the show. Definitely.
It's been a minute. It's been a minute. How you doing, my dear?
I'm doing great. I'm doing great. I'm so excited that you are here because we know we can have some really great conversation. So I know you go by Sanders. I don't know if you want to share some personal information. Like, can you introduce yourself to the audience for those who've never seen you or don't know who you are?
I am. My name is Sanders Nicholas. So we're gonna do in English, strictly English.
Yes, okay. Yes.
Oh, that's fine. My name is Sanders Nicholas. I am. I used to be a radio TV host back in the days. I used to be the floor manager for Tele Jasper. That's how I met the attorney Gabrielle. And we met on set a few times. We had to work together on a few things. I am a catering manager. I'm currently working for Curry College. I am a private and personal chef. I started my business in during COVID. So I used to be part of the entertainment life a lot, but I changed things in my life a little bit. Well, I changed a lot of things in my life. So now I'm more focused on myself, my business, and my family now. So, kind of laid back on the entertainment.
Yeah, that's why I wanted to have the conversation. I had put here the objective of the show. So I said a conversation with Sanders Boston. Of course, Nicholas is your real name. And the goal is to have a conversation about your faith, your family, life, and business, and also to help inspire other people, because I know you've had a journey since I've known you. You've had a really serious, important journey. And I wanted you to feel free to express as much and share as much as you can, because this is a special show. And we want those who are listening to be edified and to be encouraged to go and do likewise, because I was so elated when I saw the change in your life. So without further ado, I know last week, I don't know if you got to see that show, Sanders, we talked about priorities, because you say right now you've prioritized different things in your life. We talked about priorities and how, as a husband, your spouse, your wife should be priority. So for spouses, their spouses should be priority. Because when you make the kids, because I know before we go online, you were like, oh, let me tell my son to be quiet, because so you are a father, you are a husband. Yeah. How, do you share the same concept? Do you feel like it is important to prioritize your spouse? And if that has been a struggle for you, share why.
There's a psalmist that had a song. It says he would prioritize God over everything. It will make room so God can feel like he can live within. I think as soon as you fix your priorities, you will be centered, you'll be focused. So like you said, I changed a few things. I changed my focus, and I focus more on God, and everything else just align with it. Reading the Bible, getting to know the words of God, kind of make you understand that as a man, as a father, you have to be a leader, you have to be the source, you have to be the provider, you have to be the way maker in the house. So if I can say it like that. So all of this is just aligned with the fact that I prioritize God in my life. And it's just it's natural, you know what I mean? I think the first thing is to align yourself with God, and the rest will just be gravy. It will be easy. Like my wife texted me earlier, and she said, hold on, I'm gonna read exactly what she said. I'm gonna share this with you guys. This is personal, but I'll share with you guys. She said, "I really love and appreciate you. I'm so proud of the man of God that you are. I know it's easy. It's not easy, but you do it with such ease." That's what she sent me at 5:56 today. Um, so I think the fact that I align myself with God and knowing the words of God, everything else has become so easy for me to do. There was no struggle or nothing. So priority is important, and you have to prioritize what you need in your life so you can be centered and focused. Yeah.
So we talked about change and a change in perspective. So obviously, several years ago, that's not where your priority lied, right?
No, not at all. Yesterday we were doing a couples luncheon, and we had like two couples talk about their relationship and how COVID affect their life and everything. And matter of fact, I have two reminders. I have to be in the meeting right now. It's a bunch of guys praying, by the way. Sorry about that. I'm just gonna turn it off for a second. And we were talking about how COVID affect the relationship, and how married life is. And something that comes to mind is I've been married for 11 years on paper, but I've been engaged in my house and my marriage life for 4 to 5 years. Before that, I was like I said, I was a managing artist. I was a club promoter. I was working with artists, solo or band. I was representing festivals in Haiti, in Miami, in New York. So I was always constantly moving around. Either this week I'm in New York, next week I'm in Miami, next weekend I'm in Haiti, next week I'm in Montreal. So he's like always somewhere in there. And if I'm local, I'm in a club promoting, meetings with club owners, meeting with artists, with DJs, with sound engineer. So I was constantly on a run, moving. And if it's not for that part of of my life, I was my regular job, which was like sometimes 2 jobs. So I was never focused in my house. I never realized who and what I had in my house. I didn't know the people in my house. Let's just put it that way. So
that's including your own wife. That's including your own wife.
Yes. So 4 or 5 years ago, I decided to start working on things. Let's just quickly say that it's not an easy thing to do. People might think like you just wake up in the morning, you're like, I'm going to change. It doesn't work like that. It's a process. You have to give yourself time, and you have to be, you have to have somebody to support you in the changes that you're doing. So my wife was my support system. And like I said, 4 or 5 years ago, I decided to fix a few things in my life and gradually, prioritize what I'm supposed to do, and then fixing things. And then from that, I just become the person that, I am today. It wasn't like, one thing, it was a process, and it's a good feeling, it's a good feeling. And I'm definitely want to advise you guys, husbands or couples out there, to reevaluate what you have inside your house, and then focus more. And then you're going to realize, where your priority really is.
And how that can change your life. Obviously, it's changed your life for the better. So I know we talked about, you just said that you work for Carroll College. I went to Carroll College. So I know they have a really great cafeteria for the students there.
Yes, amazing.
So that's great. But so how long have you been cooking? Or because I know that wasn't your career until recently.
No,
so let me just say, how long, your earliest memory, and if you could give us an idea, so who got you inspired? or even to entertain
So,
that career?
so basically, the first meal I ever cooked, I was probably 11 or 12. I was in Florida in my sister's house. I was hungry. There was nobody in the house. So I made rice with hot dog sauce with the tomato paste and the onions. It was so good. I'm not gonna lie. Even it was so good that my sister's husband was like, your brother can cook more than you do. And I was probably 12, 13 years old. I've been in the food industry for 14 to 15 years now. I started as a dishwasher and I worked my way up all the way to a catering manager. I am currently a chef professional. I went to Bunker Hill Community College for that. I did study culinary arts over there. And basically it's like food became part of my life without me notice. It was always there, in the background of all the things that I've been doing in my life, the music, the other things I've been doing. Food was always there. It was always a passion, but I never really put it out there like that. And then until probably 5 years ago, when something happened at a job that I had, I was working for a company, and then they needed a general manager, and they get somebody fresh from outside to become the general manager because he had some kind of culinary background degrees. And I was training that person to become the job that I want. So it was kind of annoying. So I sat down and had a conversation with God. I said, listen, God, if it's the reason why this happened, I don't want it to happen again. So I went back to school. I started from scratch. I said, I'm not too old. I'm young. I can always learn. So I went back to school. So I had a conversation with God, and God understood, and we started it together, and we're finishing it right now together. When COVID hit, you're talking from a guy that was a busybody, that was always on the run, always got something to do, whatever. And here I am sitting in the house, not doing nothing. And it was like itching, my whole body was starting itching. And I'm like, I got to do something. At first, I seen a lot of people doing it on doing things online, but I never wanted people to see me as a machin manger. I think there was something that was in my head, like some kind of ego or something like that, because I'm like, I'm a chef. I don't want to be doing things people are doing, or I don't want to be in that level or whatever. But I had a conversation with God, and I said, God, what can I do? Because I am sitting here. We don't have a lot of income, and what can I do to provide for my family? Because as a man, one of your roles is being a provider. I said, I do everything else, but I can't really do that part. It's, of course, we had, some fun, but I just needed something to come in. So, to have the flow, because, it's not only just going out, you have to have something coming in, a part of it staying somewhere, and then the rest go right back to the world. So that's how the circle is. And, and I learned from reading a bunch of books that if you have 100%, a rich guy will spend 50% and keep 50%, but a wealthy person will save 75% and ball on 25%. So a baller on 25% is basically my mentality, because my 75% is somewhere doing something else, investing in the world, out there, trying to get me something coming back, because money that you have under your bed stays under your bed. It doesn't.
So you heard the show, multiple streams of income.
Yeah.
We did the show, multiple streams of income matter. Yes.
Yeah.
Go ahead. I'm sorry for cutting you. Go ahead.
So, I was like, okay, God, what can I do? And God says, so what can you do? I said, well, I know how to cook. And he says, well, that's it. I don't have nothing to tell you. I said, as a matter of fact, let me go help somebody that really needs help, because you don't need help. You're all set. And I said,
so it's what's in your hands. What do you have in your hands?
What can you do? I said, I know how to cook. He says, so just do what you know how to do best. and leave me alone.
Exactly. Just go and do it.
And
Just go and do.
Yes, and I apologize to God for bothering him on this concern. I said I will never do that. Yeah, I said I would never do that again. And I started cooking, and it's been great. It's been a blessing. And
I like that. I'm very impressed by that, Sanders, because like I said, I've known you since you were a teenager.
Yes.
And you've always impressed me as being very diligent, very serious. Like, I'm not surprised you've been married for 11 years and that you've always had this. I remember going to the studio and you were always on time, always wanted to do things a certain way because you believed in integrity and you believed in delivering as promised, right? So I'm not surprised that you are doing business for yourself and looking for ways to have multiple streams of income. So I know it's hard for businesses to get started I know God said, go ahead and do what you do best. You have it in your hands and go and do it. But so you can share Momobo's story about like a client that you have that you remember that you made an impact, that they came out and say, oh my God, that was the best. And also, how do you advertise your business?
It all started, amongst friends. That's how you usually start small businesses. I take a few classes for business. I'm currently in one of them now. In school, they teach you that you have to start somewhere. It doesn't have to be big. It doesn't have to be huge. It's just start somewhere. That's what's important. It's the beginning, the mentality. Before you even start putting the business out there, you have to, in your head, study your business. You have to study the field. You have to study the market. You have to study who you're targeting. You have to study where you want to go with it. And then after that, are you going to study, do you have the fund to back it up? And then, after you do all that, you're going to check now your competitors now. You're going to look at your competitors and be like, okay, let me see what they're capable of. What are they offering, what I can do different and all that. Sometimes you even order from your competitors. Sometimes you eat from your competitors. Sometimes you Google your competitor. So you learn the market, you learn the firm, you learn the business that you're trying to get yourself into before you even put yourself out there. So it took me a minute to get what I wanted out there. But when I finally decided to put it out there, my friends embraced it. I had some amazing support. My wife is an AKA. She,
What's
she's
an
part
AKA?
of it's a sorority sister. It's Alpha Kappa Alpha. I think the prime minister. What's her name? What's the name of the prime minister?
No, you mean like the vice president?
The vice president. The vice president. I'm saying prime minister. I'm still in Haiti. I'm on Haiti mode. I'm on Haiti mode because
Kamala Harris. Yes.
I'm like so focused on Haiti. I'm talking about prime minister. Oh yeah, not that way. But anyway, Vice President Kamala Harris. She's the AKA. So they wear pink and green and pearls and Chuck Taylors. That's their sign. That's how you recognize them. So it's a sorority where I've been blessed for. They embraced me. They always have an event going on. They always have something at their house. They always have a party. And, I started like that by hosting simple 2 people at the house to now hosting 160, 200 people, at a graduation party. So that's how I started. And then, I took it to a whole nother level because growing a business is not staying steady. It's after you learn the field, you learn your target market and all that, boom, 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 boom. You put something out there. If it's working, you move to something else. It's like a level things up. So that's exactly what I did. I started low and I'm going higher and higher every day and offering different things, different aspect of food, how you present the food to people, and then, different services as well, because it's important, because there's a lot of people doing the same thing out there. There's a lot of people selling food, but I think the way I'm doing it is kind of different from the others. So that's
not to forget, you do have a show on YouTube. I've seen it. I've lacked it many times. Can you share a little bit about that and
Yeah,
how people can get
I have an amazing producer that I know since Haiti. Her name is Karencindy. I think you should have her on the show as well. She's an amazing young lady. When I say amazing, it's just amazing. It's not the word to describe this young lady. Her name is Karencindy, and she have a dance studio. I think her and her mother just kind of grand opening of a clothing store in Taunton probably 2-3 days ago. And she's a producer. She produced movies and all kinds of stuff. So she approached me. She's like, I think we should do something. I said I was waiting for something like that. So we shoot 2 nice videos, like 3 or 4. They haven't been out there. So we're trying to put them like that, 7, like she was busy. So I have like shows that was in the background that's not even out yet. But people can go ahead on YouTube. It's Cooking with Chef Sanders Boston, and the channel, my YouTube channel is Chef Sanders Boston. It's one word. It's S8 Chef, and then Sanders Boston, SANDERS BOSTON. Just click it, and then you can learn how to cook. So most of the time when I do things for people, they always like, "How did you do it? Because it's so good. I want to know how to do it." Da, 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 da. So instead of giving each and every one of them a little details of my recipes or whatever it is, I just like, let me just do a YouTube channel and make it easy on people so they can see how to do things and so they can know about it. Because I guarantee you, if I give you the same ingredients, we have the same ingredients, both me and you, we go somewhere, we have the same ingredients and we cook the same dish, it's going to taste differently because it's who you are. It's cooking is about who you are. It's about your skills. It's about your heart. Because if your heart is not good, your food, I guarantee you, 100%, your food will not be good.
And I'm glad you said that because it's not only cooking, it's whatever you do, basically. That's why it's so important to seek the voice of God if you're a believer, to ask God, what is it that I have in my hands? So that you can go and pursue your own dreams. Because like I said, a couple of weeks, we've been talking about multiple streams of income, and that's what you're doing. You have a day job at Curry College, but guess what? You're also doing what you love and helping and presenting what you love to other people. And you've talked about legacy and how, as a man, you realize that you didn't even know your own family, your wife and your children at the house because you are running so much. And that's not the legacy you wanted to leave behind for your kids. Because you wanted to have your priorities straight. So I'm so happy that I'm hoping that people who are watching can hear those advice and listen to what you are saying. But we know we are all in business. You've said great things about how much you love it. We're in business. You said you wanted to earn additional income to make money. But what do you feel, based on your vision and your mission, what do you feel is the other reason, the other bottom line why you are in business? How do you want your business to impact? Because you talked about love. How do you want your business to impact this generation and the next generation? And what vision do you have? A restaurant, a function hall,
I realize one thing. If you want to make it, a regular 9 to 5 is not enough to make it. It's just put it out there for everybody to know that. You might go to school all your life so you can make it that, it's 6-figure, whatever you need, fine. But if you want to be successful, a 9 to 5, I believe, in my perspective, is not enough for you to make it. You need something on the side. You need another stream that bringing money in. The goal is not for me to only stay here. The goal, everything that I'm doing now is just not even a quarter of what I have that I want to do. It's not, I was telling my wife that earlier too. It's not even a quarter of what I have or the man that I'm going to be or the man that God wants me to be or even the man that I want to be. Because she was like, it's not who you want. It's not how you want. It's what God wants you to do based on what you need. Because there's a difference of what I want and what I need. I might want something and God will be like, no, you don't need it. So sit your, little butt somewhere because I'm not going to give you that. If I give you this, you're going to be balling. I'm going to lose you. Therefore, you're going to stay in that level. Boom, stay right there. That's where I want you to be. You're going to stay there. So it's all about God. But what I'm doing now is just creating a platform. You asked me earlier how I promote myself. I'm building my database right now. That's what I'm doing. I'm building my clientele. A lot of people, when they taste my food, they want more. That's the goal. My food speaks for myself. My food promotes itself. So if I go somewhere, somebody will take a bite of my food. It's not even your food. You'll take a bite of it. I guarantee you, next time you have an event, you'll come back to me and ask me to do it for you. I have a breakfast for 2 people Friday. Could you believe that? 2 people. They just want breakfast and they want me to cook breakfast for them. So this is how it is. The food itself is promoting itself. Word of mouth. Like, man, this guy is good. Like he cooked for me. You should try it. Boom. I tried. Oh, I want more. Boom, boom. And also, I don't even promote myself on Instagram or Facebook like that. I don't know if you realize that. I'm not even.
Oh, I know. Let me just say something. I saw you in Miami this summer, and I was like, we were praising, right? Worshiping. Mm-hmm. And I was like, wait a second, this is Sanders.
Yeah. With my chef coat on.
I know. And I was like, what are you doing here? Because I do my pilgrimage to Miami every summer. I do that very quietly because this is my time to kind of enjoy my summer. And I was like, oh my gosh, what are you doing here? And you were telling me why you were here. You had been commissioned to do some great things for somebody who had tasted your food in Boston. You wanted you to do for the summer for them. So that was awesome.
Yeah, flew me down to Miami, took care of everything. I had nothing to worry about. And I cooked for them for over a week. They still calling me to come back. They want me to move to Miami, by the way, which is not going to happen.
God hasn't given you that directive, right?
No, not yet. Not yet. I don't know in the future, but for now,
might be lucrative based on what I know.
Yes, but for now, I'm a Boston guy, so I'm gonna stick with it for now.
I know.
And I don't know about the future, but yeah, it's perfect example of how I ended up in Miami. It's just somebody that tried my food once, brought it to attention of somebody else, and somebody else was like, "Oh, this such and such is in town. You want to cook for him?" I'm like, "Sure, cook for him." I cooked for him, and I received a phone call from somebody else. Says, "What did you feed him? Because he doesn't really eat." And I was like, oh, "That's what I did." And they're like, "Okay, so are you available to work this day? Because we fly you down." And boom, word of mouth, boom, 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 boom. I ended up in Miami praising God, just like you were praising God in the full. And it was an amazing experience. Yes. Amazing.
I hope to see you at the grand opening, feeding thousands of people, because you deserve to be there, Sanders. I've always had respect for you. I cannot say it enough, because I feel like, even before you had made the decision to follow your faith in Christ, that you already had it in you. And I saw it going through that building when not everybody was like you, right?
Yeah, thank you.
You had it in you. So there's so much. And I know we talked about like what you see for yourself in terms of like in the future. What do you see? Do you see owning a restaurant? Do you say you have big dreams? Owning a restaurant, or function hall, or
not and also a restaurant.
Go ahead.
It's not going to be a restaurant. It's not
multiple.
It's not going to be a restaurant. You can write my name in a piece of paper. I guarantee you, in the next 10 years, you will hear from me.
Yes, and we're already hearing from you.
And it's not even me. It's going to be God and I, how we're going to move forward with that. And this is the first time I'm saying that, and I decree and declare on myself right now that in the next 10 years, you will hear it. Yeah. You will hear it. The goal is not a restaurant. The goal is way bigger than that. Yeah. Way bigger than that.
Your vision and your mission. So foundation, you've already created the foundation, because the key is to create the right foundation. And if you're standing on the right foundation, all things are possible, right? And you've
Yes.
decided to create the right foundation for the next 10 years. So what would you say, our last question tonight, what would you say to someone who's where you were or where you are right now, and they want to pursue multiple streams of income? They want to have a legacy that they can be very proud of. They want to know the children and their spouses, you know, the people in their houses. They want to know those people, and they want to be better husbands, wives, and fathers, business people. What would you say to someone who's looking for the favor that you've received from God? What would you say to them?
Pray.
What can they do?
Pray. Pray.
Mhm.
Pray. Prayer is the Wi-Fi that connects you to heaven. You know, when you go somewhere, your phone is just not connected, especially in Haiti where you don't have no internet. You're looking for Wi-Fi. Everywhere you go, you're looking for Wi-Fi to connect. Prayer is the Wi-Fi to connect you to heaven. And heaven, when heaven is aligned with you the way you're supposed to be, everything is just, nothing is impossible. Everything was just open right in front of you. And it's just gonna be a layout, like a red carpet. You just step on it and let it flow. And of course, don't be afraid to take risk. Don't listen to people that tells you that you're not gonna do it. My wife used to do that back in the days. She used to do it. And I set her down. I said, listen, I don't want to hear this word in this house again. You can't. We can't. I can't. I don't want to hear that word in this house. I don't want to hear it, because everything is possible. We're serving a big God, and we don't move by ourselves. We move with faith, and we just follow assignment. I'm at Curry College. I'm following an assignment. Let's just put it that way. I could have easily go back to my routine and be running around crazy and probably make a little bit of money of what I'm making right now, but I would always be tired, not have time for my family, not have time to see God, not have time to breathe. God changed things in the season. God and I, we had a fight for a week about this job, a whole week of back and forth. I said, God, but you know, I can just go there and do that. God was like, no. I said, but I can just, he's like, no. I said, but I can just, he's like, no. The last day of the fight, it was a Sunday. I remember I was cooking, and the sermon that I was watching on YouTube, the sermon, the pastor said, let go. Clearly, just coming out of the pastor's mouth, let go of your bad habit. Let go of the things that you used to do. Let go. It's this new season. You can't bring baggages from the old season to the new season. Let go. And then I looked at my wife. I said, maybe I should go. And she yelled and screamed at me. She said, why are you fighting it? And I said, I'm sorry. I apologize to my wife. I apologize to God. And I called the person that was giving me the job. And I said, okay, I'll take the job. He says, well, I'll see you tomorrow. Just like that.
It's that easy.
People had to do background check. People do that. People do this. You have to do this. You have to do that. It's like when you're aligning yourself with God, he's opening the doors, but you have to put yourself, you have to be available to walk through the doors. God will open doors for you, but you have to be behind the door. So when the door opens, so you can't go in. That's why I don't like lazy people. You can't be lazy and pray God and expect God will just do things for you. It doesn't work like that. You can't. There's a sermon I was watching, the pastor was like, because sometimes there's so many doors that God opening for people. You're looking at the doors, you're like, what are you doing? Like, he's opening doors for you, and you're not putting yourself available to go through the doors because you're so focused, you're so comfortable in the situation that you are, and the problems that you are, and you make your problems you.
Yeah, definitely.
Make
And when you're
yourself.
not hearing, if you're not adhering to good advice too, to instruction and discipline, so it's very hard to hear and understand where you should go. So we wanted to have the show, Sanders. I'm so happy again that you're here. We wanted to have the show because we wanted to give our viewers an opportunity to learn from business owners like yourself and how you've been able to do it and transition in from where you were to where you're at right now and in your vision and your mission for the future. Um, the highlights, we want to highlight business owners. So the lady that you just mentioned, I would love to have a conversation with her. Definitely. As a father, a husband, and a businessman, you are thriving, and we want the same for those who are looking to do the same thing. We all are evolving. Nobody's perfect, but it's so important to grow. And I've seen the growth in you, and I'm so happy for you. Is there one last thing you want to say, or we can say goodbye to our
Thank you.
audience tonight?
Thank you for having me. Thank you for doing what you're doing. Sometimes we are doing things and people, and we might think like people are not watching, but they are watching. You might think like you don't have the audience that you're looking for, but people are watching, and whoever's gonna take it somewhere will watch it. The person that the message is for, they're gonna get it. They will get the message. So I just want you to keep on doing what you're doing. I'm focused. I'm pretty sure that you have a goal behind what you're doing and you have a vision behind it. So stand behind it and keep on doing no matter what, keep on going. And
Yeah,
people like me and other people we'll listen and we'll learn. We'll learn
yeah,
from each other. And that's how we do it. We have a big tool now in 2021. It's this, communication, it's social media, it's the connection. Let's use it to build the community instead of destroying each other. So let's learn from it. Let's not only watching, naked girls online or anything like that. Let's just focus some time to listen to someone that's offering a show that will probably help you in the next 10 years. So
yeah.
you know, let's just feed our mind differently.
Mhm.
Let's just put something serious in there instead of all the shenanigans, that's in front of us. Because it's easy. Cheap food. You guys realize that McDonald's costs $8 to $10, but when you go and get fruit, it's like 12, 15.
Correct.
So the healthy stuff costs more.
Exactly. And the
And that's
food
my
that you
last.
prepared will cost more money, but it's be worth it. Because at
Yeah,
the end of the day, if you are a professional and you do what you do with integrity and compassion and the passion, you deserve to get paid for the work that you do. So my prayer for you is that you get paid for the work that you do because I know you will pay it forward and share with
thank
other
you.
people
Thank
and,
you.
and
I hope
expand your
so too.
territories.
The
Huh?
clients, you heard that?
Yes, get paid for the work that you do. So actually, this Wednesday, that's the topic of the show. Your worth, know your worth, and getting paid for the work that you do because it's so easy to have a
Yes.
passion and to have
Yeah.
people want to do business with you, but they don't see the value in the work that you
Yeah.
do because they don't
And
want to
you
pay
you have
for
to
it.
put the value on yourself before people put it on you, because
All
it's
right.
very important to wear your crown and let people know that, okay, I am here. This is a slight line between ego and know your worth, because sometimes people don't understand the fact that, I know what I'm worth. It's not because I have a big head. It's just because I know what I'm capable of and I know what I can bring to the table. That will put a stamp, a price on what I can do. It's not an ego. In Christ, in the Bible, you teach you that it's not ego. It's know your worth. You know what I mean?
Your worth.
I know. I hope
You,
that people understand that.
yeah, we do need a proper return on our investment and look at all the investment that you're doing in order to build your skills and also hone your skills and do the work that you do with passion, but also with education and investment. So it's definitely important to get that. So we'll have that conversation on Wednesday. Please tune in on Wednesday. Thank
Will
you so
do.
much again, Senders, for
So if somebody
Nicholas,
needs me,
Boston.
see if
Yes.
somebody needs to reach out. The phone number is 603-216-4621. The number once again is 603-216-4621. And then wherever you are in social media in the world, type Chef Sanders Boston. I will pop up. because that's the one thing in marketing. You have to have one name everywhere. Make it easy for your client, make it easy for people to search you, and they will find you. I remember in 2013, I broadcast the Compa Festival on my radio show, and I had 17 other radio shows broadcasting my show. And that's how Sinners Boston was created, because I was there. So one word, Chef Sinners Boston, everywhere. Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, Snapchat, everywhere that you need me. Chef Sinners Boston, and then you're gonna find me. So
yes, I will find you soon when I'm gonna have my birthday party. Okay.
Awesome.
Hopefully you'll be available. Okay,
Hopefully,
because you're gonna be busy. Yes. Thank you so much, Chef.
Thank you so
Chef
much,
Sanders.
guys.
Yes, I'm gonna get off here. Thank you. Thank you so much, everyone, for being part of the show, for watching and sharing, and for liking, and for commenting. If you have any comment and you would like to, I'm definitely gonna link your information so that other people can have access to it as well.